These are the people of the tale in Kumandra from the Raya and the Last Dragon. These are custom dolls depicting a man and a woman from the tale. They're just random people. They will appear in many videos as random background people and may even be copied and pasted many times to look like there are many of them. They might talk, but they will say something insignificant or completely random things for the purpose of directing the story in a certain direction. I wish I could make like 50 of them, but that would be impossible. That would take me like a year. So I'm basically going to make 2 people from each of the 5 lands of Kumandra and just keep using them. I'm starting with the tale, following the order in which these towns appear on the map of Kumandra. The people of the tale like to wear yellow, although they seem to mix some browns and oranges into their colors too. Originally, I thought their costumes looked all different and unique for each of the 5 lands, but on a closer look, they actually seem to dress alike. There are about 5 or 6 costume designs, and the people of Kumandra all wear one of these 5 designs. The only thing that are different is the colors. So the people of the tale like to wear these 5 or so costumes only in yellow, orange, or brown. However, the people of the spine seem to wear something completely different. That might be because of the weather. They wear thick fur coats on top, and they seem to be wearing multiple layers of clothes. The spine does seem most unlike compared to other 4 Kumandrans. However, I did notice certain clothing styles do appear more often in certain people. Like the man from the tale seemed to go topless a lot more. Maybe because the tail is a lot hotter, although maybe covering up more would be more sensible thing to do on a hot desert environment. The sun could literally peel off your skin if you don't cover yourself up. Obviously, making a topless outfit would make my life so much easier, as that would mean one less outfit to make. But I decided to give everyone a top and the bottom. So there is a wraparound shirt look that also seems to appear often in the people of the tale. So that is what I will give to both of them. We spend a lot of time in the tale, but I feel like we don't really get to know a lot about these people. We saw the trapped cave where the chief tale was found, but we did not get to see the architectural styles of the building from outside. We saw the port where Shrimporium was docked, but again, not a whole lot. We saw the people lined up at the meeting at the heart, and we got to see a little bit of how the people like to dress. We saw a little bit of Boone's family at the end. We saw a lot about the tale, and yet I feel like we didn't really get to find out a lot about them or their lifestyles. From little that we saw, they build their buildings in stones, and roofs look like sails. They like earthy colors. The tail is basically a very small version of the Fang. They seem sparsely populated compared to other lands. We did not get to see a lot of the villagers up close when Raya was in the tale. The land doesn't seem to have a lot of trees. It is mostly desert. I do wonder how Boone built Shrimporium if trees are so sparse. Maybe it is imported from other lands. They seem least protected from the drones. I may eventually make the family members of Boone, so I don't want anyone to look very similar to them. I also might make the guard who appeared beside the chief tale, so I don't want my random people that we're making to look like them either. So I eventually decided to give them a shoulder wraparound shirt and and knee-length short. I might make all of the different versions of the outfits later, but that may or may not happen for now. I will not be making the shoes because their feet will not be shown in the videos. Both the man and the woman will get similar looking outfits. I also wanted to make things a little easier and give everyone short hair. They will be wearing some kind of a headdress, either a head wrap or a hat. I don't want these people to stand out, so I will not be giving them any accessories or any kind of extra design patterns on their outfits. I want them to disappear into the background. The villagers usually do not appear in my stories, mainly because I do not have dolls for them. In stories where they did appear, they are background images or a bunch of random toys I had, or they were wearing a hoodie or a hat to cover up their faces. When they had a little more significant lines, I used the dollar store dolls or just Barbies and Kens. If more important than that, then some other Descendants or Disney dolls filled those roles. But I was thinking about Kumandra, and I felt like these people need to be made into custom dolls. Barbies and Kens do not look like Kumandrans. They also do not dress like Kumandrans. Barbies and Kens play more leading roles than background villagers in my stories, so the dollar store dolls also have the same problems. I think Raya in The Last Dragon is different from other movies in that Raya was having a relationship with the land and the people. There were 5 other people who traveled with Raya, but the relationships seem more professional than personal. I think the people in Kumandra play a lot more important roles than the villagers in other princess movies because Raya's goal isn't about finding her prince, but uniting her people. Since the people of Kumandra is the central theme of the movie, we need to turn them into dolls, or at least a dozen or so dolls that can represent the people. In addition to these generic people, I still need to make street food vendors, the palace chefs, the guards, the dragons. A lot of people still need to be turned into dolls. I did ask myself, do I really want to make this project so big? I was doing just fine with just the store-bought dolls for a long time. Do I really need to make these custom dolls for all these side characters or make these random villagers? I do seem to be making these projects way bigger than previous series. Well, let's see where things go. I always wanted more people. I always wanted more custom buildings and backgrounds. So maybe this is kind of where I start the project. So to begin with this project, I rolled 2 balls of aluminum foil for the heads. I also made the heads of the people from other lands at the same time. If I'm going to roll aluminum foils, why not roll 8 more? But I am editing this so that I only included the stuffs from the tail. I covered up the aluminum ball with a thin layer of polymer clay and then baked them. I dabbed a little bit of polymer clay around the forehead, the nose, the cheeks, and the chin. I smoothed them until the balls look like faces. I added 2 ears and 1 mouth for each head. I baked them once more. I painted the face so they would match the skin tone of the bodies. I mixed some brown, white, yellow, and orange paint together to make the skin color. I painted the hair black. I painted the eyebrows, eyes, and the lips, and the heads are done. I wasn't trying to sculpt these faces to look like anyone in particular. Not that having a reference image would have made any difference because I can't sculpt like a reference image anyway. Next, I moved on to the outfit. First, I worked on the man's outfit using the dress patterns that I already had from previous project. I traced the shirt panels. I cut out 2 panels, one for the front and one for the back side of the shirt. I sewed them together and then I cut out 1 shoulder off. The shirt looks a bit too low, so I added another horizontal strip on top. The shirt is a wraparound shirt, so there are multiple layers of strips that are supposed to wrap around the body, but I think one strip is enough. I also cut out another strip and put it over the shoulder and let it hang diagonally across the body, and then the shirt is done. Next, I gave him a pair of shorts. The people of the tail seem to wear their shorts with a belt. There are usually some kind of intricate patterns painted on the shorts, but I omitted all of them. I don't want him to stand out too much. The only thing that should be obvious is that he's from the tail. Nothing else should stand out, and I was trying to save myself some time. I have 4 other lands to get to. Next, I moved on to the woman's outfit. Her outfit is made exactly the same way. It is a one-side shoulder wraparound shirt with a pair of knee-length shorts. The women of the tail sometimes seem to wear brown shoulderless shirts, but that outfit will be given to the chief tail's guard if I ever make her. So I did not want a duplicate look. I did not want to use any other colors. And then I made a very long strip which was wrapped around the woman's head. That was my way of trying to cover up the fact that I did not sculpt her hair. Hair is hard to sculpt, and a lot harder if it's a wig. So it seems like this is a good place to stop as any, so this is where I stopped for making the 2 random people of the tail. I could always spend a lot more time to add a lot more details, but they all take a lot of time. At some point I do have to weigh how much details and how many props I want compared to how quickly I want to progress with making these videos. The next video is making the people of the Talon. It's mostly going to be similar to this video with similar looking outfits. I am trying to justify spending so much time making these people and that I will keep using them even after the series. All of these dolls do get integrated into the universe for other subsequent stories even after this series, so all this effort is not in vain. Maybe I will eventually go back and make villagers for all other princess movies too, including the ones that are coming up like Encanto. So that's how I made the 2 custom dolls representing the people of the tail in Kumandra.